and opinionated, sometimes chaotic, but I appreciate the emotion that's behind the clamor. A love of books propelled me into teaching, then made the job frustrating because I can so seldom transfer my passion for words and stories to my students. So it's a treat to gather with literate women to whom ideas mattered, women who savored books the way they might fine meals, or savaged them if they found them rancid, because their quality mattered to them. "Don't blondes also lust and die?" Clary Oliver asked. She was Helen's business partner and best friend, and together they produced high-end children's clothing. Now she adopted a challenging stance and raised her eyebrows. "Hath not a blonde a sex drive?" she asked. Her own head sported a unique and expensive shade of beige. Her sister and shadow, Louisa, also blonde, laughed with a harsh "ha" that I was sure was supposed to convey lots of meaning, but Louisa's meanings were generally not worth figuring out. "Sorry, Clary," Helen told her partner, "but think about those famous sex and suicide girls. Emma Bovary, Anna Karenina, and Edna, too. Not a single blonde." Susan Hilliman, whose red hair and freckles could have been borrowed from Raggedy Ann, spoke up. "I read somewhere it goes back to the blonde Anglo-Saxons. The invading barbarians, the baddies, were dark, and we all know wild, sexy women are bad, right? So they're dark, too. Angels and babies are blonde, the pure and the innocent, unless the woman's a platinum blonde, an obvious fake, and thereby corrupt." Susan had been a lit major with me at Penn, and a year ago was my conduit into this long-established book group. She worked for a PR firm, tweaking images. But that was, she insisted, only her day job. Her true calling was as a writer, and she had a mystery in progress. There had been several earlier mysteries in progress. I wasn't sure she'd ever finished any of them. "Renegade blondes," she continued, "the obviously bleached kind. They drive a man to his destruction by making him kill for her. Except for Marilyn Monroe, who was perfect, because she was bleached but squishy. Corrupt, but compliant." Susan pointed at her springy red curls. "As for me, my literary or film role is doomed to be as the sexless best friend." I wondered if there really was a pattern, and where my own brown hair, I like to think of it as chestnut, but really it depends on the light, fit into the spectrum. Undoubtedly not in the province of heroines, and not even of sexy villainesses, more's the pity. "Edna killed herself," Tess said, quietly pulling us back to the subject at hand. "Drowning was certainly not her only option." Tess was a psychologist with short, no-nonsense brown hair. I just knew there weren't any myths about the two of us. "Do you think society killed Edna?" I asked, in the sense that it had no place for her. She had 2 affairs. She didn't much care about her kids. She no longer fit anywhere. "Thank God times have changed," someone softly commented. "Nothing's that changed," Helen said, "because of the Ednas. Edna could have stood up for herself, lived a bohemian life, defied them. But she didn't. That's the same today. Most people won't take a stand that might put them in a bad light." "It was harder then." The incongruously babyish voice belonged to Helen's neighbor, Roxanne Parisi. Roxanne struck me as a woman reinventing herself, at least outwardly. Her current image seemed costumed rather than dressed, in gauzy layers and noisy jewelry, and all of it topped by hair dyed the color of fine Bordeaux. But her voice seemed left over from an earlier incarnation. "It's hard now," Helen said. "Hard to take a stand, be defiant." "Don't you just love the ruined woman?" Susan said with her customary verve. "Ruined. As if we're pill bottles with warnings. Do not use if seal is broken. Contents may have been tampered with." "How come you can't ruin a man?" somebody muttered. "Can we get back to this book?" Poor Denise. She had assiduously prepared for the evening, and here we were, being especially unruly. "What about her children?" Helen demanded. "Didn't she have an obligation to them?" "She didn't really like them all that much."